Hello and welcome to another Escape from Tarkov video, and it once again is another news video. Two major things: there was an update which is pretty in-depth, and there was a podcast that's been translated which has a ton of information. So let's dive right into those. First things first, the patch notes for yesterday's updates. They added an alpha container for purchase at level 2 Peacekeeper, upped the quantity of items to spawn in plastic weapon boxes, lowered stress resistance requirement in Skier. For the Flint quest, was 8, now became 6. Upped sell prices for several items, heavy armor, video card, dry fuel, etc. And the BS ammo is back to purchase as a barter. So really all good things, I think. I'm not sure if the sell prices for heavy armor, video card and dry fuel, that's got to be us selling to traders, not the other way around, because you can only buy dry fuel and video cards. So good changes, all buffs, nice to see. I jumped in an offline raid just to check the buff to the weapons crate, and I think the change hasn't really been implemented offline because it was that bad. Like, I found either no items or one item, one slot item in the boxes pretty much. So I decided to go on and do a scav raid, but let's just go through the items we've got here. So, let's take into a rail there in that massive box. And I don't think it applied itself to the offline because the online loot was so much better on my scav. And there's also a funny little story to go with the online with the scav. I only intended to jump on the scav and test the loot on the boxes and then get out. Safe to say, sneak peek, I ended up getting into a fight with a scav boss. Unfortunately didn't get all of the loot, but it was a good scav. I think I came out with around about 500,000 rubles in about 7 minutes work, so it was good. But as you can see there, big box, tiny item. I definitely believe this change hasn't been implemented in the offline mode yet. I'm not sure if that's a bug or it's working as intended. But if you, just so you know, if you go on offline mode to see what the loot's like and you're getting terrible loot, that's probably why. And I checked this wooden weapons crate as well, just to be on the safe side, to make sure that they hadn't misapplied the change. They did stipulate the plastic boxes, so I'm assuming that's the big green and greyish boxes, so definitely worth checking them out now. I mean, the found and raid status made weapon parts really valuable before. I think it's this upcoming scav raid I was telling you about. I found a silencer, a 34mm scope mount, and a Bravo scope. And I came out with about 1,600 rubles in those items alone, those 3 items. This is a scav raid I'm telling you about. So I spawned in, I thought I'll go nighttime. I spawned in with an ADAR, and in this box I find a Bravo scope, so I'm like, cool, I'll stick that on my ADAR, that's going to be good. And then I was looting the rest of the boxes on the helicopter in the middle, and I was just finding attachments. I wasn't finding tons of them, but they were all useful attachments, you know what I mean? Like, they all fit the gun, like that 5.56 silencer that went on the ADAR I had, so I'm not sure if they've made it so you get more attachments on the item. Because I'm not sure when loot is generated. I'm not sure if you go, you load in a map and that box has a set loot in it, or if the loot is generated based on who opens the box, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. So anyway, I just get that, I pick up the gun, I slap it all together, I think this is good, and then I'm like, what the hell? There's a lot of lights in that building, and there's just some chunky scav in there. I'm thinking, well, that's a scav boss guard. I'll take that out. I hate the front sight on the ADAR when you put a weapon on it. When you put any scope on it and the front sight doesn't work. It's just so irritating. So then I mosey on over there. I start looting the corpses in front for a bit. And I go in through the back. And at this point I'm bricking it because I'm just in here to test some stuff out on the live servers. I just thought I'll use a throwaway scav. And I'm like, no thanks. I don't want to fight a scav boss, I don't want to fight players. I just want to get in, and I just want to get out. But I do think Gluhar is the juicier of the scav bosses. Unfortunately I didn't get all the footage, because what happens is I actually did kill Gluhar, who you saw I put Gluhar down with the ADAR to the head. I go in this back room, there's a corpse in there that you probably can't see because it's too dark. But I loot this bag, and I forgot to hit the record button after this, but I loot that PMC. He had the $200, the 200K goggles on, the night vision goggles. He had that SA-58 you see Unfortunately, I did kill Gluhar, but I didn't get to loot him because I started hearing movement in there, so I wanted to get out as soon as possible. And now we're on to the brass tacks of the Russian podcast. Now, this was... what was it? It was translated by Lord Wernio on the Reddit. So thank you to him, and I don't think he watches this video. I don't think many people do. But if you happen to watch this video, someone links it to you. I agree with the big Reddit post that's saying it's not your fault about the translation error when it came to Nikita talking about helping friends. Long story short, it's difficult to do translation work, and it was mistranslated. And what it sounded like Nikita was saying was, he was saying, you know, just don't trade with your friends because you could be flagged as, you know, real money trading, and then you could be banned. When it was further translated, it was more along the lines of help your friends, but if you transfer in 60 to 70 millions worth of rubles in a couple of raids, we're going to flag you as real money trading because we don't know if you have or have not paid for that stuff. So, like, you know, saving some guy's equipment and then dropping it in the next raid isn't going to get you banned. But if you take in 2 thick cases, 3 thick, you know, I'm not sure you can't take thick cases anymore, but if you're taking a lot of money and you start dropping that, I don't know how you would, but if you did, that's going to get flagged. So just be careful if you try. You know, if you're quitting the game, a lot of people used to take their stuff in and just drop it. Well, that might get someone banned, especially if you're giving it to a friend, so just be careful with that. Now, this is basically most of the useful information I could garner from the translation. I will put the link to the translation in the description below, so do check it out. There's other stuff I haven't covered here because I don't think it's stuff that we haven't heard before, but it might be something you're not, you know, familiar with, so definitely give it a check. This is the basics. 12.7 will have the customs expansion, new guns. There will be no wipe for 12.7. There'll be a new boss, which I'm assuming is Sanatar for the resort area on Shoreline. There'll be new weapon mods. Patch notes will be coming next week, and the next wipe is aimed for about 0.12.9 or 0.13. And that's it. That's all the information I think is relevant for, you know, the average player of Tarkov. But again, check out the translation. It's good work, and it just keeps you well informed. And that's going to be it for this video. Again, I'm sorry I'm bombarding you with just EFT news video after EFT news video. I'm just sitting down to make a video, and I'm looking at the Reddit, I'm looking at the Twitter, and I'm just getting all this information, and I'm thinking, that's kind of important to know. You know what I mean? That's information that if I didn't use Twitter, I didn't use the Reddit, I didn't use the Instagram, it's information I'd like to know. I would love to start a Discord for this sort of stuff. So instead of a video for like every little thing, I can just recopy the tweet, or I can recopy the image or the Reddit post into the Discord. Like, there's a fantastic post the other day about a guy, and what he does is he gets the maps from the Tarkov, like the Reddit and things, and then he puts little expanding circles on all of the spawns, and it's timed to how many seconds are in game, so you can see when 2 spawns are going to overlap if they run in that direction. They are fantastic. I'll try and see if I can get a link to one of those in the Discord, in the description as well. But again, I apologise for not putting out the guide content. At the moment I'm working on an ammo guide, so it's going to list the weapon that fires that ammo type, then it's going to list the recommended ammo, how much damage they do, penetration, how much they cost, and then it's going to visualise what armour they will penetrate. But I hope this video has helped you, and I hope the information comes in handy at some point. I hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you next time.